Good afternoon. It's Miss Kim with Miss Kim's Tarot and Tea Room. It is, let me look at the time, Monday, April 20th, 2026 at 12:40 p.m. And it's been a little bit since I've done any videos because I've had an injury and sitting up is not fun. So I just wanted to take a look at this week, April 20th till let's say the 25th. I'm just going to do a collective spread for everyone just to see what our theme is going to be this week. Let's see. I'll show you the cards. I don't have the ability to show my hands right now, but I'll hold up what I am looking at. I thought I'd hurry between my next client. So we got the 10 of rods. So it looks like collectively for the population as a whole, we're carrying burdens that's really too heavy to carry. And I'd say that's true, especially financially and, you know, taking on what we're seeing around us. It's impossible not to internalize some of this unless you are made of metal. I, unfortunately, am not made of metal, but it's definitely showing. Also, this card represents some of the things that we're carrying does not belong to us, so we have to differentiate what is ours and what belongs to somebody else. So an obstacle position is worry. Sometimes this card can mean illness. Sometimes it can mean anxiety or trouble. Definitely troubles seem to be more magnified at night. So we've got to figure out a way to flip the script at this time to help us not magnify what is already bothering us. And we do have confusion around us. Sometimes it does show that there's enemies. Now that is showing it's not necessarily the case, but sometimes we think that may be what it is. So, but we have to watch for confusion, for backbiting, and things connected with relationships that are not really the people that are in your corner. So just be aware of that. Not everybody that smiles at you is your friend. And sometimes the people that are in your very camp are the ones that are not on your side. So you need to be careful with that. What we can work with and use, what we've already been through, our experiences with sorrow and sadness. We already know how much we can withstand. But that also gives us a threshold of not what to tolerate anymore. So if you have had a history of being able to manage trauma or manage difficult situations, yes, maybe it's effortless now that you can do it. But the question is, should you be doing it at all? Because our nervous system is wanting to regulate. Excuse me. And sometimes that means the things and the situations that have caused that may have to be let go of so that you can start to not survive but thrive. And then the past of the matter is basically showing that we have taken on way too much. Although we have the vantage point and we can handle those things, once again, it is saying, should you? Just because you can. So those are questions that we need to ask ourselves. Just because we've taken a lot and tolerated a lot or bared a lot, does it mean in the future that we should do that again? And I say no. I say that didn't work too well. At least for me, I'm not interested in that. I have so many life minutes left. You have so many life minutes left. And I consider it a currency. And I ask myself now, do I want to spend my life minutes on this? I'm 63 years old, and you better bet I'm giving a lot of no's now. So this is saying that there could be a message coming through about business. So to have a heads up about that, normally this is a very fair and pleasing page that brings the message in, so you don't want to kill this messenger. It looks like the message is something that is positive and will benefit you in some way. And here we have stability, whether this be an actual person, things having to do with real estate, things having to do with things of the earth, gardening, not little small gardening. We're talking about our food supply, but it can be that. These are things of the earth. That's the rulership over the earth. Real estate, finances, food, all these things will be in focus. And it definitely shows that from being in a place of stagnation, we are getting ready to rev our engines and take off. We have movement now coming within the next 21 days or before. And then this is showing hopes and fears of, even though I've got something that looks very appealing offered to me, emotionally, do I have the bandwidth to maintain this and to bring it into fruition or try? You know, just because something is offered to you doesn't mean that you have to accept everything. That's like an argument. You don't have to accept every argument that you're invited to. And then here we have, it's showing good things with friendships, family, the home being secured. So I consider this pretty good. The only thing that I would say are concerning are these cards, and I'm going to talk about those. Because the moon is always a concealment. Sometimes it has to do with having hidden enemies. Sometimes they're covert, sometimes they're overt, but it always shows, and it'll come in threes. You definitely need to watch your tribe to make sure that who's actually in there is actually who they say they are. And these always swords have to do with the intellect, but it's what's going on in the mind. We're having a war in our minds. We're having illness in our minds, dis-ease. So some of the illnesses that we might have originate mentally first. So those could be somatic illnesses caused by what we're thinking. And carrying other people's burdens is nice if you have the ability to have a little bit extra room for that. But when you are doubled over and you're carrying things that are not yours, then that's a whole different ball game. And then here, just because you have the ability to, you know, be attacked on every level and have activities coming at you from every level and every way, does that mean that you really need to do that? I think it's a time for us to say, do I want to do this? Is this person good for me? Are the activities that I'm thinking about doing going to be beneficial for me, or am I trying to keep busy so I won't be looking at things that hurt me or from the past that I'm trying to heal from? Ask questions why you do things, not just do them blindly or because other people do them. So that is what I've got today. If you want to ask any questions, you certainly can. You can go to Miss MS Kim's, Kims, Tarot and Tearoom.com, and you can send me a message through there, or you can text me. I hope that you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.